Please subscribe to help you and your motorcycle perform better. That's comfortable. The thing that's not comfortable, you can see all the white skin here from the pressure point. So these handlebars are way too close this way. That's what I'm looking for, but I can't get it. So I purchased this Ninja 400.
Here's a preview.
From Roseville Motorsports, because small bikes are becoming more and more popular. Irrespective of age, gender, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, small bikes in some areas of the world are way more popular. What we're going to do is take this bike and go at it from the cheapest upgrades we can find all the way through to eventually doing the upgrades that make sense financially to give us value, as well as they're required. Because I'm not exactly a featherweight. I am a firm member of the Clydesdale clan at over 200 pounds. So we need to figure out what to do with this bike. And the first part is, what do we get off the showroom floor and what do we need to fix immediately? And category number one, period, end of story, is always ergonomics. First assessment, what does the seat do? Well, if I get back here, I feel myself sliding all the way forward down to here. So the seat's forcing me into this position with groin against the tank. Okay, so if I put my feet where I usually ride, which is the peg between the ball of my foot and the big toe, that's where I usually go. So our first rule of thumb is ankle must be directly below ball and socket joint, which is there, and it is not, it's in front. Now on the brake lever, what we don't want to do is to make our angle acute with our foot to go get it. So if you ride here, I should be able to drop and find it. And I can. As far as range of movement goes, there's not a whole lot, so that's good. But from here, because it's higher, I can drop to it. So the position for the brake lever is fine. The other part is the peg is roughly around the heel stop. And so when I push down, the brake pedal's on my big toe. So I'm very comfortable with that. So no changes to the brake pedal, and that's really, really unusual. Normally that's always too high. That's comfortable. The thing that's not comfortable, you can see all the white skin here from the pressure point. So these handlebars are way too close this way. That's what I'm looking for, but I can't get it. Now, there are two bolts here. If I remove those bolts, then I can push the handlebars further forward. The question is going to be, how much room is there between the brake and the fairing, and when that collision occurs, if there's any room at all. So we'll look at that in a minute. And there's a ton of room here to move the bars if you choose to keep the stock master cylinder. So we have gobs of room to move it. In fact, there's probably so much room you could bring this around, drill and tap a secondary hole and bolt it in place if you moved it all the way forward. So as an example, let's loosen that up for a second. Remember, you don't have to keep that there. You can pull up and relocate. So if we pull up and relocate, we can get a slightly deeper angle. So the question is that angle too much? Yes, it's too much. So there's the good news. The clutch side will actually elevate or angulate to where I want it to be, which is right there. Yep, that's nice and straight. Tighten that up. So all we need on the clutch side is a clutch lever. Now that that's angulated properly, and I moved it that way, away from the instrument cluster here, now my finger fits. So in just taking a look at what we have and adjusting it correctly, now everything lines up with my fingertip right over the edge. So I just saved myself a bunch of money in not buying a clutch lever that I don't need, by simply doing a reposition and the correct angle. Now as far as the shifter goes, remember, at the highest point of the shift, our ankle can't be less than 90 degrees here. So hook under, put it where I want it, there, and go to the top of the shift. So that feels like it's greater than 90 degrees. So the angle for the shifter is fine. The other piece is on top. That's one thing. We want to make sure that when we put our foot on top, it is not less than 90 degrees, and clearly it is. So the shifter needs to come down, because to get my foot to it, I have to bring it up and over. So shifter needs to come down. So we've got a shift rod here with 2 lock nuts on it, and what we need to do is turn the shift rod to bring the shifter down.
Catch the full video at DaveMossTuning.com.